Back here in our text in chapter 12, verse 26, it says, at that time, meaning at Mount Sinai, his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. First, I want us to see that the author calls the shaking a promise. We don't tend to think of promises as things that cause discomfort or even displacement. Right? That's not, the promise to me is, if God says, I promise the shaking will stop. I promise it won't always shake, but here what the author says is God promised, not only did I shake the earth, but wait until you see when I shake the earth and the heavens. The author says that God, who shook the earth at Sinai, promised that he will later shake not only the earth, but the heavens. See, this is a promise, which means it's part of God's will. It means it's part of his plan for redemption, part of how he desires that he be our God and we be his people. This is how his heart will be fulfilled. The shaking is not in response to our sin. It's the overflow of God's love. For joy to be full, for peace to surpass understanding, for love to succeed, everything has to shake. And so we go back like we did a couple of weeks ago. If we're supposed to endure hardship as being disciplined, we're supposed to endure shaking as God fulfilling his purposes, his plans, and his desires for our lives. It's almost like God shaking things and saying, joy will come out of this, peace will come out of this, hope will come out of this, love will come out of this. If I don't shake, you can't have what I desire for you. Shaking is a promise. The statement, yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens, is a quote from Haggai chapter 2, verse 6. When Judah was returning from exile and Zerubbabel was tasked to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Now, we already know that the tabernacle at Sinai was just a copy of the tabernacle in heaven. But I think here, by the author of Hebrews quoting this verse from Haggai chapter 2, it means that every temple, Solomon's, Zerubbabel's, even Herod's, was doing nothing more than pointing toward the New Jerusalem in Revelation 21. So if God gave Moses the plans for the tabernacle from heaven, where do you think the plans for the temple came from? Right? God doesn't change course. He doesn't change the way that he deals with us. And so he started with the tabernacle and led into the temple because he wanted us to understand there's something greater than all of these coming. 2 Peter and Jude both talk about the removal of the heavens and the earth. That's the shaking that's being written about here in Hebrews chapter 12. The return of Jesus and the establishment of the New Jerusalem. But here's what I want us to see real briefly from this. Revelation 21:22 says that in the New Jerusalem, there will be no temple because the Lord and the Lamb will be its temple. He will be our God and we will be his people. So when they were rebuilding the temple, God was saying, rebuild it, but there's something coming that's better. And when they were building it in Herod's time, he was saying, rebuild it, but there's something coming that's better. And here to the Hebrews, he's saying, I'm going to shake it all because there's something better that's coming. And the better thing is always us with Jesus and Jesus with us. That's always been the plan of God. From Eden to New Jerusalem, God has one plan. He will be our God, we will be his people, and Jesus is the center of it all. So when he shakes anything, it's to put Jesus where he belongs, in the center.